The report of the committee will be carefully examined and appropriate decision taken in due course. Nevertheless, I take note of the fiscal deficit roadmap of 3% recommended by the committee for the next 3 years. I have taken into consideration the need for higher public expenditure in the context of sluggish private sector investment and slow global growth. I have kept in mind the recommendations of the committee that sustainable debt should be the underlying basis of prudent fiscal management. Considering all these aspects, I have pegged the fiscal deficit for 2017-18 at 3.2% of the GDP and remain committed to achieve 3% in the following year. With this gradual approach, I have ensured adherence to fiscal consolidation without compromising with the requirements of public investment. I have taken due care to limit the net market borrowings of the government to rupees 3.48 lakh crores after buyback, much lower than rupees 4.25 lakh crores of the previous year. More importantly, the revenue deficit of 2.3% in the budget estimate of 2016-17 now stands reduced to 2.1% in the revised estimates. The revenue deficit for the next year is pegged at 1.9% as against 2% pegged in the FRBM Act. It will be our endeavor to improve upon the fiscal numbers, especially the fiscal deficit in the next year, through greater focus on quality expenditure and higher tax realization through huge cash deposits in banks triggered by demonetization. Madam Speaker, I shall now present my tax proposals. India's tax to GDP ratio is very low, and the proportion of direct tax to indirect tax is not optimal from a point of view of social justice. I place before you certain data to indicate that our direct tax collection is not commensurate with the income and expenditure pattern of Indian economy. As against an estimated 4.2 crore people engaged in the organized sector employment, the number of individuals filing returns for salary income is only rupees 1.74 crores. As against 5.6 crore informal sector enterprises and firms doing business in India, the number of returns filed in this category are only 1.81 crores. Out of 13.94 lakh companies registered up to 31st March 2014, 5.97 companies have filed their return for assessment year 2016-17. Of 5.97 lakh companies which have filed their return for assessment year 2016-17, as many as 2.76 lakh companies show losses or zero income. 2.85 lakh companies have shown profit before tax less than 1 crores. 28,667 companies have shown profit between 1 to 10 crores, and only 7,781 companies have shown profit before tax more than 10 crores. Now, individuals. From amongst 3.7 crore individuals who filed tax returns in the year 2015-16, 99 lakhs showed income below the exemption limit of 2.5 lakhs. 1.95 crore show income between 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs. 52 lakhs show income between 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs, and only 24 lakh people show income above 10 lakhs. Thus, out of 76 lakh individual assessee who declare income above 5 lakh, 56 lakhs are in the salaried class. यानी 76 लाख लोग 5 लाख से अधिक इनकम डिस्क्लोज करते हैं साल की, जिसमें से 56 लाख वेतनभोगी हैं, बाकी सिर्फ 20 लाख हैं व्यापार, व्यवसाय, प्रोफेशनल सब मिला के। द नंबर ऑफ पीपल शोइंग इनकम more than 50 lakhs in the entire country is only 1.72 lakhs. We contrast this that in the last 5 years, more than 1.25 crore cars have been sold. And the number of Indian citizens who traveled abroad either for business or tourism was 2 crores in the year 2015. From all these figures, we can conclude that we are largely a tax non-compliant society. The predominance of cash in our economy makes it possible for people to evade taxes. When too many people evade taxes, the burden of their share falls on those who are honest and tax compliant. After demonetization, the preliminary analysis of the data received in respect of deposits made in the old currency presents a revealing picture. During the period 8th November to 30th December 2016, deposit between rupees 2 lakhs and 80 lakhs was made in 1.09 crore bank accounts. And that was an average deposit of rupees 5.03 lakhs. Deposits of more than 80 lakhs was made in 1.48 lakh bank accounts. That the average size of the deposit was 3.31 crores. This data mining will help us immensely in expanding the tax net as well as increasing the revenues, which was one of the objects of demonetization. Madam Speaker, one of our main priorities of our government is to eliminate black money component from the economy. We are committed to make our taxation rates reasonable, our tax administration more fair, and expand the tax base of the country. This approach will change the color of money. नई दुनिया है, नया दौर है, नई है उमंग. नई दुनिया है, नया दौर है, नई है उमंग. कुछ थे पहले के तरीके तो कुछ हैं आज के रंग ढंग. रोशनी आके अंधेरों से जो टकराई है, काले धन को भी बदलना पड़ा आज अपना रंग. The net tax revenue of 2013-14 was 11.38 lakh crores. This grew by 9.4% in 14-15 and 17% in 15-16. As against an RE of 2016-17, we will end the year with a higher growth rate of 17% for the second year in a row. 2 साल लगातार 17% increase है. Because of serious efforts made by the government, the rate of growth in advance tax in personal income tax in the last 3 quarters of the current financial year is as high as 34.8%. मैडम, ये डिमोनेटाइजेशन का भी असर है कि पर्सनल इनकम टैक्स लोगों को ज्यादा डिस्क्लोज करना पड़ रहा है. 34.8% इंक्रीज इस देश के इतिहास में कभी नहीं हुआ. Madam Speaker, The thrust of my tax proposal in this budget is to stimulate growth, relief to the middle class, affordable housing, curb black money, promote digital economy, bring transparency in political funding, and simplification of tax administration. Measures for promoting affordable housing in the real estate sector.